Hey, welcome to the St. Louis Syndicate. I'm Nate, he's Brandon, and this is our college football show, which every week seems to be getting a little bit better and better. I'm not sure if it's because the games are better or because we're better, Brandon, but hey, we're going to talk about it anyway.
I'm gonna call it both.
Absolutely. I think if you've been following us all season, you know that we love college football. This has been just an absolute blast to watch. And this week, the entire top 25 got turned upside down on its head. We had people losing every which way from Sunday. Starting off with my and your Missouri Tigers taking it on the chin. Holy crap, that was a disaster. So,
Yeah, I'm glad there was somewhere that was food, so I could just switch to eating lunch.
oh
That was
man. Not only is that where my
abysmal.
kid goes to school, which was bad enough, I had him in guts. Down
Yeah,
goes Frazier. Down goes
yeah.
Frazier. So took my beating there. Took my other guts beating USC, losing to Minnesota. Are you kidding me? Good thing I didn't have Alabama. I mean, holy cow.
Without, yeah, no, I especially any of those guys that went in going, I'm gonna take one of the big favorites and just take an off week and then watch them just get decimated by, some team they were supposed to beat by 2 touchdowns. I can't imagine. I get it. I always pick, something between, 5 and 8 points. So every one of them is going to be a sweat. But if you're one of those guys that's like, oh no, I'll do a upper teens or low 20s and then watch that come apart, I would be throwing things through the walls.
Yeah, well, that's kind of how my house looked. A few things in the walls. It's okay. Now, granted, Mizzou was a plus. I knew that was a risk. I
Sure.
was
Yeah, yeah.
calculated risk. I was trying to get some points back in the gut standings, and that failed miserably. But oh well. On to this week. Last week's behind us. This week is going to be a massive slate of games. So many that I couldn't even put just three on the board. We actually loaded six on the board. We've got our three main ones: Texas, Oklahoma, Red River Shootout in Dallas. What do we think here? Quinn Ewers is back.
Yeah, I'm gonna lean that Oklahoma can keep it inside the 14 and a half. It just feels like one of those games where these teams know each other. Uh, Texas can be number one in the country, but they're still just a team that Oklahoma plays every year. And I don't know that any of these top teams are really like, here, let me go into another big dog's house and just blow them out good quite yet.
Yeah, I can see that. And actually, for me, I wouldn't even play a side here. I think that this is a total. I like the over here. You'll see on the page our covers reference says total 71% are on the over at 50.5. I think Texas is going to throw points on the board, but I think Oklahoma, because of exactly what you said, right? They're familiar with each other. This is not going to be a defensive battle. This is probably going to be Texas winning the game, something stupid like 49 to 28 or 49 to 35. Keeping it close. I think it's going to be a back and forth slugfest, and that makes it more fun anyway if there's a lot of points.
That's a good call. If you can go out there and get something still under 51, like that feels like a great spot to end up.
Yeah, not bad at all there. So, Ohio State, Oregon. We know you love Oregon. Brandon has verbally abused Oregon in as many of these videos as he can, and they just keep winning. So, I guess you're on Ohio State this week.
Well, yeah, no, as you can see on the screen there, right below Oregon, that ATS record is what I'm waiting to come to fruition here. These guys just need to trip up a little bit more than they have. And I think we send one of these legacy Big 12 teams up there into the Northwest, and they just beat on Oregon for a couple of hours. And that's what I'm looking to watch in the afternoon.
Yeah, I mean, we're seeing, for the most part, the legacy Big Ten teams are handling the Pac teams well. Except last week, Michigan
Sure.
didn't do what they were supposed to do. We all thought, I mean, I even think Bill and Pat and Eric were on Michigan too. I took a look at their podcast and they were all over it. And those Washington guys, they're like me. Oh, the Cowboys aren't going to win, but definitely. for the most part, the Big Ten traditional has been a little bit stronger. You mentioned it. A buddy of mine mentioned it the other day. He's like, "Hey, when Pac-12 teams travel eastward, watch the spread because they're not covering them." So I think that's a good thing to think about.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's what I'm watching for.
Vandy, Kentucky, right? These are the darlings right now of the SEC. Everybody wants to dance with Vandy, and I mean, hey, Mizzou beat Vandy, and then Vandy beat Alabama. So by theory, Mizzou should beat Alabama.
Ipso facto.
I don't know about that, but
No, no,
this
it's
is
going to
going to
be
be a big
bloodbath.
game, man. Normally, this was a 11 a.m. game where nobody pays any attention. This is 6:45 time slot. Probably going to end up on ESPN. What do you think here?
This is going to be some fun, like deep SEC old head stuff, like for sure. I, I think Vandy, you come off a week of beating Bama. I think Kentucky just takes care of them, probably covers the 13 and a half, and we find out that you know, I think Vandy probably plays a fine game, but that they get handled and they have to have a come down week at some point here.
Ah, opposite, all Vandy. Let's go, Commodores. Woo! We're going Commodores all the way. Give me the points. Are you kidding? 13 and a half? They almost beat Mizzou. They took out Alabama. They're keeping games close. Kentucky's not beating anybody by 14. Give me the Commodores.
They're definitely going to be on TV. I'm excited.
It's going to
Ooh,
be
I
fun.
got I got one other wrinkle for you.
Okay.
This is kind of a longer term deal. I
Okay.
saw something earlier today. Somebody brought up that I obviously have not been paying any attention to the service academies.
Okay.
And it turns out Army and Navy are both undefeated right now.
Oh, I don't think I knew that.
They they both only have Notre Dame on their schedule as a ranked opponent in the future.
All right. Well, I'm a traditional Notre Dame guy. You can see my helmet's back here. Go Irish.
So, assuming that either, regardless of how the Notre Dame of it works out. They are both undefeated. The third place team in the division has got two losses. So if they went out, regardless of what happens with Notre Dame, if they stay number one and number two, they will play in the conference title game the week before the Army Navy game. So they will get to beat up on each other for twice in 7 days, and once for the traditional game, and once for the conference title. And
Oh,
if
that
one
could
of
be
them
interesting.
was able to slip by Notre Dame and win the conference game and win the Army Navy game, we could have an undefeated service academy trying to fight their way into the top 12.
Wow. And then I guess the question is that Army Navy game is usually after like December 8th. It's usually or that weekend, December 8th. I mean, technically
Yeah,
the playoff field will have been set, right?
I I believe so. I do think that that's how that works out. Because
So
yeah,
I almost
the
wonder if
Army
it would
Navy
even
game is
affect
on
them.
the 14th.
I almost wonder if it would affect them, right? So let's just say that Navy beats Army on in the conference championship. I'm making this up.
Yeah.
And Navy took out Notre Dame, which is impossible, but it could happen. And I'm making this up. And Navy's battling right to eke in. It's possible Navy could go in undefeated to the playoffs, have a spot, and then lose to Army, and then have to go play a playoff game.
It seems like that is one of the potential outcomes here.
How fun is this? I didn't even
Yeah, there
didn't
are
even put
bowl
this on the
games.
page. This is a sneaky fun here, Brandon. Way to bring up some good
Yeah,
stuff.
I can't quickly find. Oh, okay. So it looks like, from what I'm quickly finding on the internet here, that December 20th, which is the Friday after the Saturday Army Navy game,
Mm-hmm.
is the first round playoff game.
Okay.
So it starts that Friday night, and then they do, several on Saturday, and that's the first round of the playoffs. So they would play their conference game, and then on the 14th play each other while two bowl games are going on. The Cricket Celebration Bowl and the Camellia Bowl. So that'll be the same day as Army Navy,
I wonder if Mizzou will
and
be in
then
one of those.
if they don't watch out, they they are going to find themselves in another weird bowl game when we thought maybe they were going to make the 12. Yeah, that does seem like the way that they're trailing here. But I just thought I'd bring that up, put that on everybody's radar. Obviously, if you're watching us talk about college, you must be into some just, a thing to keep an eye on as we progress of maybe rooting for Army and Navy to both keep winning and find this very odd scheduling situation pop up.
Ah, that's pretty awesome. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, hey, we got three other games on the slate. I'm not going to really ask you to pick. This is for the viewers. Kansas State, Colorado. Man, that's a good one. You got to go watch that. Yeah, Big 12 matchup. Ole Miss,
Uh-huh.
LSU, Florida, Tennessee, traditional. Man, remember the Florida, Tennessee games of the day? Tennessee's back. Florida's a little down right now, as we talked earlier in the season, but still going
Yeah.
to be a matchup.
Yeah, those are all going to be a blast. I'm looking for, you know, uh, watching Colorado to see if Travis Hunter can keep this steam going for him to get into the Heisman run. That's a blast. And then obviously any LSU big title game at home is always fun. That stadium just gets rocking and rolling. And then, yeah, some old school SEC with Florida and Tennessee. I'm assuming Tennessee will just handle their business, but you never know. You would have thought they were going to handle their business against Arkansas last week.
You never
And
know.
then dude got lost running around in the backfield and just ran out of bounds.
I can't even believe it. Well, last week was full of fun. Let's just say that. I mean, what a week
Yes.
of college football, and we are in it for a treat this week. A lot of other great games. It's going to be awesome. So, good luck with your picks, Brandon. I'm not going to be sitting in front of the television all day Saturday. I'm going to have to catch up on the phone because, as you'll see here, we've got the big Illinois Mizzou matchup. That's not football, boys and girls. That's softball. My kiddo plays for the University of Missouri softball team, and Illinois is coming to Columbia, and so we got to put a beat down on the Illini, the in-state matchup.
Nothing better than a rival game. Well, good luck to her. And do what I do. I bring an iPad everywhere I go.
Yeah, why not, right?
And then
It's bigger than your
you,
phone, right?
you tether it to your phone and you can just run the games off there.
All day long.
2024 is a dream.
People are like, "What are you doing? Aren't you at a softball game?" Well, kind of.
Oh, I'm watching four football games also.
Yes, on the quad screen. So, all
Yes.
right. Hey, good luck with your picks, guys. Have a great college football weekend.
Cheers, guys.